One.
Welcome to another edition of the MMA Analysis podcast. I'm stepping in for Lance today because I'm not sure if you guys know this, but Lance and the Bearjew have never been in the same room at the same time. I mean, it's just never happened. I'll leave you guys to draw your own conclusions from that. But he's missing this week for obvious reasons. Honestly, I'm shocked they let him
he's
into
dead
the
in a
UK.
ditch from jerking off so much from Du Bronx giving props to the Bearjew.
calling him the European big nog and shit. Like, my goodness.
Lance just dehydrated. It's 120 degrees out, just in a ditch, all shriveled up and shit.
I like how we had all these people waiting, and then we start the show and instantly lose like half of them. Love it. Love it. We appreciate everybody who's joining us already. I'm sure we'll get some good comments in the chat as always. But we're here to break down UFC London. We're going to do a quick little recap of last week's UFC on ABC 123 card. Fun stuff happening there until the main event. That I know Sean made some money on it, but I mean, that sucked because that was going to be an awesome fight.
He's hit some greasy ones this year. There's been a couple mains that he's hit some greasy fucking shots this year.
I think it's karma. Every time Lance makes fun of him for losing the Edgar Munoz bet, something good happens to Sean for it.
I mean, it kind of happens with you too. Every time he makes fun of your big props that never cash, you like stumble onto a plus 1,200. You know.
I know we need Lance shitting on our bets more, Brad.
We'll do what we can tonight. I know I've got one in the opener tonight that is something he is going to shit all over. So that's going to be fun. I think you're on board with me on that one too, Sean.
Yes, sir.
But not a lot that we could take away from last week's. Actually, before we get into that, they booked a whole shitload of fights this week. All the fights. I don't know. I think
wouldn't call them fights, but I think one might be a sacrifice.
A couple. They
which one?
They booked a couple murders, man.
Well, the bald bozo fuck getting his sacrifice of a guy that he really can't stand anymore. That's one.
And then sacrificing a guy that he likes.
Yeah.
But does he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he brings in money.
After his last fight when he was like talking about one of the toughest, scrappiest dudes that we've ever seen in the division, calling him a quitter. Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair. Anyway, that's shaping up to be quite the card. I'm not going to get too excited about
that
it right now.
280 is ridiculous. Like they just keep adding. 279 is fucking horrible, and 280 could be like 2 pay-per-views. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yep.
I gotta love when they do that.
Back.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing? Before we get into the shit here. Are we good, Wes? I know you had a little milestone this weekend. That's good stuff.
Yeah, little man made it a year. I'm still shocked. Crazy. It's actually been a year that quick. I mean, I've had a kid that's year old. Fucking the teenager is married at this point. Like, what's going on, man? Brad's shaving his head over, looking like the beginning of Tom Hanks in Philadelphia. Like. Shit's what? Now I had a good time, man. Little man is he's something else, man. I've said it before, but it is one of the fucking coolest things ever to watch your little dude like progress as a human. Like he's up walking and shit now, and it's like you can remember when these dudes they just had to lay there. They couldn't move shit. They couldn't even open their hands. They got little fists. Now the dude's running around.
Humans are very useless babies when you compare it to the rest of the animal world.
The most.
Well, I mean, even at a year, literally all the dude does is eat, sleep, and shit. I mean, that's you get some giggles out of him and stuff, you know. But I mean,
stumble around into shit.
I mean, it's like taking care of a drunken midget. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's your life, taking care of.
I've been there.
Midget.
I've been there. It's happened.
Brad knows exactly what I'm talking about.
At some UFC fights, no big deal.
Oh man,
it's too bad those adoption papers from Dougie and I never went through. Tennessee just doesn't. They don't appreciate the same sex couples.
Yeah, it's the state you were in, man. Like we should have been seeing that card in California. Y'all might have came home with a kid. You see that shit in Tennessee. It's like, nah, we don't approve of that shit down here.
Sean, everything good on your end?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I had my wedding 2 weeks ago, and then, of course, I had to go to another wedding last weekend. So I'm glad that's out of the way. Now I can, get back to chilling and enjoying fights for a little while until September comes, and then I'm going on a holiday for a month. So that'll be fun as well.
Yeah, fun for me. I'll have to figure out how to post the podcast. Jeez.
Good luck. I tried to make it as proof as possible, but you know how these things go.
You got a good document that you shared with me, so I'm sure I'll be able to figure it out. Yeah, is it fun watching your in-province rival absolutely implode?
Man, like Oilers finally make a little bit of a run. Yeah, it ended horribly, but they made a good run, so it was a good year. And then you see their rival just imploding. Just glorious. I love to see it. I mean, there's nothing I hate. The only team I hate more than the Flames is the Leafs. So they're right up there. So I'll quite enjoy that.
Just tell Evander to stay out of the fucking sports book. Let's make a little run.
He should be good. He should be okay for about a year and a half. After that I can't promise anything. That he can keep his nose clean for about that long. That's what it's been historically. After that,
nobody show him the directions to the River Cree Casino, and you'll be all right. And about the weddings, now that you went through the shit, you'll settle into like 1 or 2 friends a year get married, and you actually get to enjoy it because you just like it's 1 or 2 parties a year.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of old now. Like I've already done that. That was like the last 8 years.
You were the last one to get
pandemic. Married? Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm the last one. But so yeah, it's not terrible. But
you guys do it early out in God's country, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Get out of the way so then the second time comes a little bit easier. It's like 30.
All right, let's get through this UFC on ABC 3 card. We kicked it off in the women's strawweight division. Emily Ducati beat up Jessica Pasta in that big schnoz of hers. Yeah, not a lot to add here.
I was surprised at the 29-28s a bit.
Oh yeah,
they were giving Penne every chance possible to win that, and there was just no way.
Wes, did you watch? You didn't watch this shit, did you?
Yeah, I mean, slightly on the phone. It was one of the few I got to watch Brad it out, but I had nothing. No cares, no bets, no nothing on this.
At least it got out of the way early.
Exactly. Yep. Next up, Munich got out of the way early.
Munich.
On
the German.
On the German. And we're going completely the opposite direction this week, as expected. Yeah, I actually didn't watch this one. I didn't need to watch it. All I cared about was the result. And Dwight Grant is cut. So that's
Did he get cut?
Yeah, he got removed today or yesterday.
Yeah, that's all I know about this fight.
He's not good. Stolfus isn't great, but Grant is bad.
Yeah, love it.
Grant's a bum. This was the perfect guy to get him one last time. Like, a tough dude that he's not going to be able to get out of there, and then he's going to go against. Happened perfectly.
Love it. Next up, everyone was all over the place on this fight, and Jacoby made easy work of it. I didn't necessarily think he had the power to get him out of there quite like that, but hey, there you go. Dustin Jacoby. Da Unhung. It's I mean, those powers that you absorb only last for so long. It's like a Viagra. When you beat somebody with the hog powers, if it lasts more than 4 hours, go see a doctor.
I'm glad he got steamed because I was gonna bet him as a dog, and then he got steamed, and I was like, "Yep, I'm not playing that. There's other things. I'm just gonna leave alone." And sure enough, I'm sure you ended up playing him because Jacoby turned to a dog, or did not listen to yourself? Oh, there we
No,
go.
I
And
actually listened to myself.
Wes was smart on this one as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the line going like it did was kind of why it was an ad for me as well. I was really split on this fight all week. It was back. I mean, I like the unknown. Like I made some money off of him. I think this was a pretty big step up, man. Brad, I think Brad's right too. I didn't see Jacoby knocking him out like the first round. I never saw that. Jacoby usually doesn't show big power like that. It didn't look like some kind of like really clean knockout. Was a good punch, don't get me wrong. So I kind of still like the unhung. I want to. He needs some more experience, man. Like this, I thought this was a decent step up early in his career, and I still think the dude's got some skills.
He'll be bettable in the future, I think, especially coming off a loss like this. You'll get some opportunities on him.
Fucking massive dude at 205 too. Like he's fucking
yeah.
205.
Yeah, I think he's overcompensating. Featherweight division. I mean, this went about as well as you could have predicted it going. Except I just needed Bill Algeo to take a little bit longer. But Herbert Burns, Herbert Burns did not have it in him at all. That dude was toast after he didn't get that triangle.
How does he have fucking Gil's blood running through him? Like
he has always been the shitty Burns. You can never convince me otherwise. I don't care if he's landing fucking knees on landwear or whatever. He is who he was. I mean, he had his shot. Algeo has terrible takedown defense. He got him down. He just couldn't finish, and then we know what happens. Algeo's he's got a motor, and he will run over a guy like that.
I think like Gilbert Burns has said before, like his brother is probably more skilled than him. Oh, okay. Like we can see that for about 3 minutes. That dude has like they cut out half of his heart and gave it to Gilbert.
Yeah,
because that dude he's done. And he laid there and quit, man. Like seriously, dude just laid there and quit.
He got carried out of the game.
Carried him in his arms.
One of the best. I got that saved. That's going to be an all-timer.
That's a hell of a
dude carrying out his crying brother in his fucking arms, man.
Fun times. Another one that finished in the second round. This one was me being stupid because I actually did not make money on this fight because I had Ricky Simon Vato by decision. I should have just taken the money line, but man, Ricky Simon he's a dog. He got that dog in him. And also it was American grappler against British grappler, which I'm gonna completely contradict later in the show.
Well, I will give him. He's Welsh, so he's
Welsh. He's not British.
He's a little bit better than a British grappler.
Wales is part of Great Britain, the United Kingdom. It's only Ireland that doesn't count. Jeez. Do I need to do another geopolitics lesson on this show?
No, please. I did like you. I sprinkled on decision, but I also took him straight. As was the consensus bet. I just have found that I've been trying to do that when I'm gonna sprinkle on a prop or play a prop like that. You gotta, especially if they're a dog, you gotta put a little money just on them straight because Ngannou by decisions happen and shit like that. Like you never know. That was impressive. He got him out of there. I did not expect that, but we'll take it. Simone's got, like you said, the dog in him.
He's good.
I didn't see a finish either here, but I just bet it straight. I took that plus money on Ricky Simone, my biggest bet on the card. Ricky Simone is fucking good. That dude can fight. He's got a little pop. He's got fucking cardio. The dude is massive at the weight. 135 is just fucking stupid. Like the lower weight classes are just absolutely ridiculous nowadays. And I like we seeing some guys kind of like Simone at 135 and stuff that can hurt dudes, that can get them out of there. I like that. It makes maybe we'll make the divisions more popular to the dudes that just watch shit.
Hopefully. Yeah, there's a time and a place to play the prop only. There was one that I did later on this card that actually worked out, but when it's plus 145 on the money line and plus 260 on the prop that you're playing, don't be an idiot like me. Just take the money line, and we'll get to one of those on this upcoming London card as well. Middleweight division. Puna took out the lung ambulance. Didn't really see this coming, but man, cracked them right at the start of the second round. Good for Hawaii. They
needed it bad. have had a tough go recently.
Yeah. The Puna and the Hawaiian contingent. Remember Tavares a week or two ago. Just shout out to our boy Water Show. He's gonna ride that boat till it sinks, man, off the coast. Yeah, I mean
the whole island's gonna sink. I saw some video of people at a resort in Hawaii, and this whole wave just came over the whole seawall, and white people running for their lives, man.
Puna was looking really shaky though, like in the first round at times, man. Like I don't know about that guy. Like I faded him small here. I still don't think much of the dude, man. I don't know what else to say. I think he said some shit about camps and shit and stuff. I don't know, dude. I don't know if he's that good.
Nope. I agree. Sean, anything on this one?
Nope.
Next up, lucky Lauren Murphy. Did not need to get lucky in this one. She was like, you know what? I don't appreciate that Miesha Tate is prettier than I am. So by the end of that fight, she turned her into Chris Cyborg. She had the cheeks way up here, and she was smiling. You couldn't even see her eyes.
Still look better though. With a 12-pack in you, which one are you doing? Swelled up Miesha?
That's a fairly easy one there.
Lauren could rough me up, man. I wouldn't have a choice.
Watch what you say around her. Yeah. Miesha Tate is beyond washed. You get lumped up by this chick that badly. Not good.
Man,
probably shouldn't fight anymore.
I know other people were saying it. Like that had to be some of the slowest hand speed I've ever seen ever.
Underwater, baby.
Who I'm sure we've seen some other chicks, maybe even some older dudes where their hands are slow, but man, it looked crazy. It didn't even look like it was in like real time, almost like it was slowed down. That's it, man. She's talking about fighting again too. That's crazy.
They need to book her with Marion Renault again if she's gonna fight again.
She should go you're in on Big Brother now. Go get CBS money.
Go do the challenge.
You want to fucking the Celebrity Big Brother. Try to get them to let you play they moved the challenge to CBS. They are on the big time now. The channels can't make shit anymore. So it's like, man, MTV, that's their best show. Let's take it over. Let's move it over. Miesha can go be on that, man, and quit fighting, man. It's done.
Yeah, and also, I don't know if if it's coming up on this card at all, but man, the implant crew is struggling.
Tough go lately.
Struggling real bad.
Tough go.
Featherweight division again. I mean, this past week was all lighter weights, and it was awesome. This week we've got all light heavyweights and heavyweights, and hopefully it'll be awesome. But question mark behind that. But
Tom.
oh, Dan,
Yep.
welcome. I was just listening to his show
Yeah.
about an hour ago, and if you
Glad he
haven't
went
checked that
early.
out, yeah, he went early for us. He said
Yeah,
that
we didn't need
specifically.
to be going head to head with fucking Dan Tom show. That's for sure.
I thought he was trying to pull like the old Anderson Silva, James Irvin to our affliction on this
Ooh.
one. Yeah, Shane Burgos, Charles Jourdain. As I tweeted, the attempted grapple fucking of Charles Jourdain by the coward Shane Burgos. But he needed to, man, because you saw what happened when this fight was on the feet, and Burgos was getting lit the fuck up. And that one scorecard that ended up being a draw, that judge got to the right answer, but
Not how
in
you
the
should.
most wrong way possible. And the other two judges that, I mean, none of them gave Jourdain a 10-8 in the third, which is insane to me because he was just destroying Burgos for like 3.5 minutes straight. But great fight.
Yeah, that was a fun fight. They better never cut Jourdain, because he is in awesome fights, and he kind of gets screwed a bit by the judges, maybe a little. So I just hope they don't cut him because he's fun to watch.
Yeah, Burgos. I think he got down to minus 150 or something like that. I ended up playing it and playing him straight. I feel fortunate to win that fight. Burgos is what he is at this point. Like insane hands, incredibly insane chin, but god damn it gets tested. He gets hit like constantly. Like I'll always kind of look at the trajectory of Burgos and Cater after they fought. Kind of how both of those guys, because I thought at the time both of them were similar, like very good hands. Their stand up, their boxing was incredible. I mean, Cater still gets hit a little bit, but man, he's just improved in so many ways to where Burgos is just the same guy. I think he's just gonna be that dude. I watch him fight every time, but man, I don't know how much you could bet that guy or lay juice on him. Like, I guess Jourdain's pretty good though. Like he's in crazy good fights. Like Sean said, they better never cut that kid. Like you're gonna get performances like that. But man, dudes that can throw some heat and throw some volume and got pretty good stand up. How long is that chin gonna last?
Burgos is gonna fall apart sooner rather than later.
Quick. It was looking shaky at times in this one. Like it's coming.
He was
coming.
He was panic wrestling.
Yeah, he was hanging on his back for like 2 minutes at a time. Like it was ugly.
Yeah, if he wasn't like 20 pounds bigger than Jourdain in the cage there, I think he might have been in a whole lot more trouble. But I don't know. Maybe he moves up to 155 at some point, and that'll help his. Well, he's still durable, but that'll help him prolong his durability.
More guys are trying to wrestle him. This takedown defense is pretty good. It probably helped a lot.
Yeah. Round of the year.
Whew.
Matt Schnell. Sumaderji. Pants on the ceiling. I mean, the first round was good. Schnell should have never got rocked the 18 times that he got rocked in the second round because he should have subbed him in the first round. But that second round was just insanity. I mean, Sue rocked him like at least 7 times.
Repeatedly with
ridiculous.
The elbows just that was wild. Normally I hate Cormier on commentary, but him just like giggling out of glee at how good that fight was. I mean, I related to that in that moment.
It made him as relatable as he's ever.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much.
Because that was all of us at that time. Just
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fight was bonkers. Either guy could have won it multiple times. That's pretty fun when you have a fight that lasts, how long it did, and both guys multiple times could have won.
Love it.
Yeah, the sub getting there made that fight like so much even more enjoyable. Like crazy good fight. Then you catch like the kind of the avenue like most people that been watching Snell and like don't
That's
need
the
a
way it
bunch of
had
tape.
to be.
You don't need a
He
bunch of
wasn't
tape
winning
study.
the decision.
Like plus 800, and you need zero tape study, zero to land on that bet here. Schnell's unders are starting to get there again, which is nice. I've hit a couple of those back to back. The Snell sub, and yeah, that round was insane. Some fights there get stopped, I think, like being dropped over and over and over,
Well, some fights get stopped when gets on top of Murderji and he's pounding the shit out of him too, and busting him open. True. So that's what I was worried about once it got there. I was clenched, being like, no, sweep him, go for the chop and Bearmuda Triangle, do anything.
That was insane, man. What a round.
Yeah.
That's as good as it gets. Like there's rounds that are definitely that good and shit. It doesn't get much better. That was absolutely insane.
Nope. Loved it. Also loved Lil Jangalang doing the damn thing again. Yep.
Sean?
Nope. I even picked against him. That's what I get
I know.
for going against
I know.
Jangalang.
Beautiful. I didn't expect him to get the knockout. I expected him to like sort of take over as Salikov was getting tired.
He was doing that though, right? Like he was winning he was winning the fight. I thought he was cruising to a decision. Like I didn't think he was I didn't think he was gonna catch him. Yeah, good cash though.
Didn't he lose the first round?
Yeah, but he was
close. He lost because of the takedown, and then he got the takedown back in the second round. So
he was easily
second.
Yeah, and Salikov was slowing down like fast, man. Like that dude was gassing quick.
Salikov looked like a puddle of shit out there.
Yeah,
physically,
he might have got old overnight. I don't know. Supposedly USADA's on vacation, but he didn't get the fucking notice.
Nope. Somebody who we thought got the notice, Michelle Watterson. I mean, got the takedown in round one, but then Amanda Lamo wasn't so lame-o in this one. Snatched up the guillotine. Actually, I know that I don't think he bet it, but I know our boy Dan Tom called round 2 sub for Lemos in this one, which probably would have been like a plus 2,000 ticket or something like that.
Yeah.
So Dan, trust yourself. Come on, what are we doing here? Anyways, this shouldn't have been the co-main event. Lemos has some good power and some good finishing ability though. So, I mean, I'll watch her fights.
2,800 or 5,000. Lemos died by submission in round 2, plus 5,000 at one of the legal books.
Wow.
Hey.
I know just like the straight up sub line was like 1,200 or 1,500 or something like that. But that's nuts. And then
Watterson hit the juice hard. I just don't think that. Like she
crapped out.
Nope. I mean, actually, she was doing what she needed to do. She was getting takedown, like she was staying out of exchanges for the most part, and then getting takedowns, and that's what she needed to do. But wasn't enough still, because she's not very good. And we already kind of talked about the main event. You can't really take much away from that. I mean, Yair was landing a bunch on the feet early, which everybody expected. And then Ortega got a body lock and was able to get him down. And I think a lot of people also expected that. So it was all about what happened while it was on the ground or while Yair tried to get up. but by no means was this Yair submitting Brian Ortega. I mean, that wasn't what he was trying to do. It's just the dude's arm popped out of his shoulder.
I will say that that is a win. Like I get all that, and I agree with all that.
Yeah.
A dude gets hurt in a fight, like he wins. He wins that fight. Like, because there's some people
you could get unlucky the other way and you get a loss. Like, I mean, that's
John Jones had a toe hanging off. I mean, if he doesn't finish it, if he doesn't finish a guy in that round, he's losing his title because they're stopping that fight. His bone was hanging out. I mean, that's winning though. Like, if you hurt a guy in a fight and he gets hurt, that's a win. I'm not taking anything from it. Like, there's some people that don't count that whatsoever. Like, that is a win. Like, Ortega got hurt. I don't put anything in it though. Like, on the other hand, I don't put anything in that. Yes, can Yair move on with his career? I mean, if that's what they want to do, like, he got to win there. Ortega's going to be probably out for a little while and stuff. Yeah, he moves on as like he got to win.
Yeah, don't have Yair hang around for a rematch or anything stupid like that.
Yeah, that's gonna take too long, I think. I think we just missed out on what was going to be a fun fight. If Ortega doesn't get us early sub, it was going to be a fun one because they're both going to be swinging in there. So it was going to be a fun one. But oh well.
All right, that does it for UFC on ABC 3. We're moving on to UFC London. I feel like I've got a light flickering above my head, which is annoying as hell. But I'm gonna power through for you guys.
You do it.
All right.
Great.
We're across the pond, as they say, for this one. There's a whole shitload of British fighters on here. Actually, I think it's all British fighters. There's no Irish guys on this card, which is kind of strange for these ones.
So they might actually do well.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody from SBG, I assume. But we'll go through this card top to bottom as we always do. Kicking it off in the welterweight division, we have Nicholas Blinded Me with Science Dalby taking on Claudio Hannibal Silva. Sean?
This just comes down. I just don't think Dalby is that good. He's been
Dalby's
flaky.
He's gearing up for an OnlyFans career. He's showing off his crack on the gram.
I thought they would have to blur that shit out. I mean, I think that goes against the old Instagram policies or whatever. But he had the tramp stamp, right? Like it was. It
goes all the way down.
Oh, I guess it's the hole. I guess it's not.
Yeah, I think that tattoo goes all the way down into the hole.
Oh,
how far that thing was reaching down.
That's a fun time. Yeah, I just don't think he's that good. Like I guess he's competing against. I mean, that win against Daniel Rodriguez. I don't know what happened to Daniel Rodriguez in that fight, but I don't know if he just had an off night. But I just don't think he's that good. I don't think Claudio Silva is that good either, but I think he can get some takedowns here. And if he gets some takedowns, he's kind of dangerous on the ground. I know Dalby doesn't have any subs on his record other than, when he did get subbed, but USADA is lame as fuck. I threw a half unit on Silva inside the distance at plus 500. The sub line was only like plus 550 where I could get it, so I just went with inside. Yeah. I think he's got a shot. I think he can get him down, and then who knows what happens there.
Wes?
Yeah, I agree with pretty much a lot of what Sean said. I don't think much of Dalby, and I know Claudio Silva's getting kind of old, but he's still going to go in there and give 5 to 7 minutes of good scrambling, trying to get the dude down. He'll go all out for a sub. Right at like plus 500 or so for inside the distance. I mean, even his money line at over 2-1. Just he's going against a dude I just don't think is very good, and I don't think can stop a round and a half of Claudio Silva all over him like a fucking gremlin trying to take him down and shit. So I'll take a little shot on that as well. I play Claudio Silva straight, and then I sprinkled on inside the distance.
Super Gremlin, or is he too big to be a Super Gremlin?
He doesn't look like he gets many plates of the good yam, so we'll just say
regular Gremlin. Gotcha. I think back in the day when Claudio Silva first came into the UFC, I would consider that he could win a decision as well, because he had a little bit more gas back then. Now I just think it's kind of sub early or bust for him. So I actually have a quarter on Silva sub round 1 at 1,300. I think that is his path in this fight. And if not, I really don't think that Dalby is going to knock him out, because Dalby doesn't knock anybody out in the UFC. Knocked a bunch of guys out back in Cage Warriors back in the day, but nobody really in the UFC. He doesn't have a lot of power. But man, him posting about his struggles and stuff like that, if you know what he's been through in the past, which may involve some adult beverages, it's just kind of a not inspiring scene for those who are looking to bet Dalby, which I never was in the first place. So I tossed a little bit on Silva. I think he's just going to wildly chase a takedown, and there's a decent chance that he gets it early because Dalby is not a good wrestler. And I am considering a little play. I've already got way too much money on this card, but I'm considering a little play on Silva, no cards. So if it goes to decision, bet gets canceled. That's at like plus 170, which I think if anybody's live for a finish in this fight, it's going to be Claudio Silva. I don't think that Dalby has a lot of finishing potential here. And Silva flops to his back, and he's fine protecting himself on the bottom. He'll take a beating for a couple of rounds to get to the cards. Moving on, women's flyweight division. Mandy, I learned this from our boys over at the Dog or Pass podcast, but correct pronunciation, Mandy Böhm, taking on Victoria Leonardo. Wow, this is a fight that is happening. Sean?
This is bad. Leonardo's got finished in both her UFC fights. Not easy to do in women's flyweight. And the other lady lost to Ariane
They're not real
Lipski.
finishes. Brad will tell you about those.
I'm aware, but the fight ended before 15 minutes. I don't care how it happened. She was not able to continue.
You're right.
Or somebody said that she wasn't able to continue. I don't care how it happened. It's still not good look at all. And then the other lady lost to Ariane Lipski.
So we're saying
under.
We're going under.
Of course. How could you not just absolutely hammer Thunder the under? No, I really don't care. The rule states that you have to take the dog, and that was going to be Leonardo. Now it's pick'em, so I will just say there is no dog, so I will take
Draw.
The bum. The bum. I will take the bum.
The bum.
Which one?
Whichever one did not get finished twice.
What were the lines on Toutmaster for this one?
15, minus 115 and minus 105.
Ah, shit. I was hoping that they got opened before the line flipped. Man.
Nope.
Oh well. Wes?
Yeah, I don't have shit on this as far as any kind of money, but the Leonardo chick, I will say the one knockout's kind of stand ref just kind of steps in because she got hit a dozen times. Her fighting with that broken arm last time was at least she's fucking tough. This other chick's getting finished by fucking Lipski and shit. Like I'm taking Leonardo because she has flipped to the slight dog at this point, and gotta take the dog in a very, very shitty women's fight.
Yeah, I'll I'll take Leonardo. Moving on. Lightweight division. This one is also a bum fight, but should be a little bit more fun. Jai Herbert, Kyle Nelson, Canadian pound for pound number 76. Kyle Nelson, moving up to lightweight after a couple of years off. Do you think he got on the juice for this one, Sean?
No, he got on the Corona diet and put on the solid 15-20 right in the keg region. Matt, what did Jai Herbert do to the matchmakers and shit? Like, they gave him Grandpa Trinaldo and Moicano back to back in his UFC career. They gave him a little bit of a layup against Kamaworthy, fair enough, and then toss him in there against Ilia Topuria. Like, this dude's fought some fucking monsters. I don't like Herbert's decent, but I don't know. Like, I think he's gonna beat Nelson. Nelson's not good. I just wonder if it's gonna be one of those things where Herbert, he looked good in a loss to a very good guy, and then maybe he gets kind of overvalued there. I'm staying away from parlaying him. Obviously, I think he's going to win more often than not, so I'll pick him in Telemaster. But it does scare me a bit, him getting finished and kind of doing one of those things where you look good in a loss.
Wes?
Oh, Steve, you're great.
What a nickname, though. The Black Country Banger. Love
They do
it.
it different in England.
It's hard to do the show sometimes when Steve shows up in the chat. Yeah, Sean's right, man. Like, I don't know what they think of Jai Herbert, but man, the dude's gotten like just crazy fights over the past couple years. I see a few people parlaying Herbert here, and must like him. I think even Lance is putting him in a parlay. I get it. Kyle Nelson's really bad. I think this probably stays up, turns into a kickboxing match, and Herbert's just way better there. He usually always fights good over in England too. I just, man, that's a steep price on a dude. It's got some losses, man. I know it's against good guys, but it's just it feels kind of shaky to me, man. I'm definitely gonna pick Herbert, but it just, that price, man, it seems like a stay away to me.
Yeah, I'm picking Herbert as well here. I think that, I mean, Nelson is a guy that has not fared very well when fights go out of the first round. More so in the UFC than on his regional scene, because he used to actually be able to get finishes on the regional circuit. And I've been watching Jai Herbert long enough to know that he's got, like, he slows down a bit, but he's still dangerous throughout a fight. And I think he's going to be dangerous enough in this one that he'll catch Nelson sometime in the second or third round once Nelson starts to get tired. And Nelson doesn't seem particularly durable. I mean, he got completely slapped by Billy Q, and Billy Q does not. I know I was a beatdown for the fight, but the actual knockout was out of nowhere. So I don't know if it was he was sick of it after 10 minutes of getting beat down, but it looked like he just got knocked out. So I don't love that. I think that Jai Herbert's probably going to kick him in the head at some point in this fight. And honestly, Herbert looked pretty good. He's 1-3 in the UFC, but he's looked like decent.
In every one of his fights almost.
Yep. He was beating or even with Trinaldo, and the third round was going to decide that one. Moicano beat him up. And then, like, he almost knocked out Ilia Topuria, who's supposed to be the greatest featherweight who ever lived, and now he's facing a not good featherweight. So
he did have Topuria. All kinds of shit. Was that a short notice fight? Did that end up being like this? It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Topuria went up to 155 for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Herbert was like way bigger than him still. it's still
Herbert's going to be way bigger than Nelson too.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
So,
that Herbert inside the distance, I think, is around even money.
yeah, I don't see it being a sub either. I don't know if there's much of a difference between the inside and the TKO price. Not really. Minus 115 for inside.
That's probably true. That is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take Jai Herbert. I think he probably gets a stoppage in this one. And I don't think Nelson has the punching power to sort of bring it back the other way, quite like the other guys that Herbert has been facing recently. So Jai Herbert for me, no bet on that one. Flyweight division, Muhammad Mokaev, big time Mook. After seeing all of his posts on Instagram and Twitter and whatever he's doing. I mean, that gun was bigger than he was in that picture. This little fella. And he's taken on Charles Johnson, LFA champion. If you've been watching any of the regional stuff recently, this guy's pretty good. I think this is going to be a decent scrap, Sean.
Yeah, like I was gonna ask you guys, like I haven't watched LFA in a very long time, so I think if you watch it religiously, you know who this guy is. I think you could probably have an angle on this fight. It's a pretty wide line. Like the Mokaev, came in with all kinds of hype, and yes, he dispatched Cody Durden in seconds, but that's nothing too special. I don't know. Like is Charles Johnson worth a shot here? Like that is a big line. You can get like almost like plus 385, 375 on Johnson. I don't know. I've never seen him. I'm leaning on you guys. I guess the pick will be the Mokaev by submission.
Wesley.
Yeah, I don't know if Johnson is worth the. I definitely can't touch the at that kind of price. I'm just not sure that Johnson can stop taking stuff. He's got decent defense. I will say the dude hits, and he's been in 4 or 5 round title fights in LFA against some decent competition. It's probably dog or pass. I wouldn't be parlaying this guy. I guess Johnson's probably an unknown most, but he's decent enough. I was looking at the under myself. I think there's a possibility of Johnson maybe stopping some takedowns and landing some big stuff. Or if he can't stop those takedowns, I think Sean's right. It's probably going to be Mook by sub eventually. So that's probably the route I'm going to go. I haven't bet it yet, but I think it was around minus 110 the last time I looked. On a side, I'm probably going to pick Johnson and Outmaster. It's
trying to make up those points.
He's live here. He's a little bit live. I still think the Mook probably wins this fight though. Top game, if not myself, probably.
I think StreamYard's trying to censor Wes because every time he was trying to say that Charles Johnson's not going to be able to stop the takedowns, he was kind of like glitching out on him a little bit. But,
so you're going to keep it up and knock this dude out.
There we go. Now you sound good, Wes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that's exactly what's going to happen, though, is Charles Johnson's dangerous on the feet, but lesser wrestlers have taken him down plenty throughout his career up to this point. And I think that as much as the Mook is an idiot online, this kid's good. He's got potential. He's gonna show up, and he was my breakout pick for flyweight for this year. So got to stick with him at this point, and maybe he'll get a number next to his name after beating this UFC debuting fighter. I know it was supposed to be somebody else. I think it was supposed to be somebody else, and then they had to rebook this one late. And Johnson's taking it on a little bit of short notice. Don't know if that's true. Just kind of making it up. Feels good. Feels right. But yeah, we're going to go Mook. And unlike Wes, I think that Johnson has never been finished. He always seems like pretty in control and never really in danger in fights. So I'm thinking Mook decision here. I wish that was a bigger line because of all the hype that he's got. But I know that Dimes has the over 1.5 is still at -175. And I think I'll probably throw that in a parlay because I think regardless of how it goes, it's probably going to take, at least a couple of rounds for somebody to get there. Featherweight division, we're getting to the good stuff now, or at least some of it. We got Mr. Finland taking on Sean. This guy's been a money train for you and I. Nobody else has believed. Nobody else. We've been there all along. JSP.
I get him right and wrong with this dude. Like I'll bet him and he loses. I won't bet him he wins. I'm gonna try to get one right. I'm gonna try to get one right this time.
All right. Actually, Wes, we'll start with you. Let's get it right here.
Okay. Yeah, I just think the JSP don't ever compare him to GSP.
It's embarrassing.
I just think he's gonna want to grapple too, man. I think this is gonna hit the mat, and I think when it does, we're gonna have Mr. Finland pulling something off like he does, man. When dudes decide to take him down, I think that probably happens here. Pearce likes to get into the clinch and stuff a lot, and if he plays that kind of fight here, I like Mr. Finland. So at plus money price, I think you're getting a decent price to see if he can pull off a sub on Jonathan Pearce here. I can't remember what the sub line was. I don't think it was too much better than
350. I think 375 was the highest I saw, but 360 right now is the highest out there.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you got to put either that or inside the distance into your bet as well, because that's probably the way that he's going to win. If this goes 15 minutes, it's probably Pearce on top, controlling and winning rounds. So I think you need Mr. Finland to pull off something like he likes to do. So I like him to do that. I like him by sub, and I'll take some of that dog money.
Sean.
Yeah, I just don't get this line. I know Amirkhani is a very flawed fighter, but Pearce is gonna just go into his realm. So like, he's gonna give him all the chances to do what he wants to do instead of, getting his takedown stuffed and having to stand on the feet and getting lit up. Like, Pearce is gonna grapple, and that gives Amirkhani a ton of chances to lock in a sub. So I've made money on Pearce. I get it, but this is just like not a great matchup. Like, it's kind of like the Grundy fight. Grundy's gonna force grappling, and that's a dangerous game to play against Amirkhani. So I got 2 units on Amirkhani at plus 180, and I threw a half unit on him by sub at plus 375.
Yep. I'm right on board with you guys. I mean, Pearce wants to grapple. So far in his UFC fights, he's landed like 6 takedowns, 5 takedowns, 6 takedowns, 4 takedowns. Like, this dude comes out.
The only time he didn't land a takedown is when he got knocked the fuck out by Joe Lozon.
Exactly. Yeah. The only time he didn't get to take a takedown was when the fight went 90 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure I buy this narrative that if this fight goes the distance or if it goes long, that Pearce is going to be the better wrestler. Amirkhani is probably the most underrated wrestler in the UFC in, I don't know, past 5 years, 10 years. Like, this dude takes everybody down. I mean, the only guy he didn't take down was Grundy. That's because Grundy took him down and he choked him out in like 3 seconds in their last fight. He didn't have a chance to take him down. But Amirkhani is an awesome wrestler. I think that if these guys get into the clinch, that he's going to be the stronger of the two. He's going to be able to get takedowns. If Pearce shoots on him, We had our boy Water Show pull up a picture of Pearce in the chat, and that dude has a neck like a giraffe. He's gonna get choked
He did all the neck capping that we need.
Yeah,
man,
exactly.
Somebody had to do it.
There's hog analysis, there's neck analysis. You got to know how to break down this game.
Only fans analysis, like we got.
Mm-hmm.
We just
More
got
on that
professionals. We got professionals.
Yep. Diverse. We got a diverse group looking at things for us. But yeah, I like Amirkhani. I didn't even go sub or inside the distance here. Probably how he wins, but that wrestling angle kind of makes me think that a decision isn't completely out of the question. And I also did take a little bit of Amirkhani round 1 plus 800 because I can see it happening just right away. Pearce shoots, Amirkhani wraps up some sort of front headlock, and that's all she wrote. So, I mean, this is Pearce going from being like a plus 200 dog a bunch of times to now a minus 200 favorite against the best guy that he's faced. So I gotta go Amirkhani here. Very early in the week, there was a plus 198 still hanging around at FanDuel, so I grabbed that, and I got some plus 185. I think that was BetMGM on like Tuesday, but we're gonna give the real line because this is the consensus bet of the week. Makwan Amirkhani, Mr. Finland, greatest tapology picture in all the land, plus 165 is what's out there right now. That is the consensus bet of the week. Get it done, sir. Another flyweight fight. We've got Charles Rosa, Charlie Rose, coming over to take on Nathaniel Wood, who hasn't fought in forever. But this dude's going to be juiced to the gills, moving from bantamweight to featherweight in his hometown or home country, whatever. England's like one big city, I assume. Never been there. Don't care. They have bad food. Nobody likes it. But Nathaniel Wood, Charles Rosa, Sean, over under 2.5 minutes that Charles Rosa will not be on his back in this fight.
Way over.
Over.
A better line is like 9.5 minutes.
No, I said that he won't be on his back.
Oh, won't be. Oh, definitely under then. Because either I think Wood's going to get him down and lay on him forever, or Wood is going to get him down and finish him, and then that under hits anyway. So, yeah, I have a hard time seeing Rosa winning this fight. Wood is coming up in weight, so I mean that could kind of stop his takedowns a little bit, but Rosa's takedown defense is just so bad, and his bottom game is so bad. I think it's just going to be one-way traffic, but there are a little bit of concerns with him coming up in weight, so I wouldn't even, it's not really even worth parlaying. He's like minus 550. What is he? Yeah, 580, something like that.
Yeah. It's getting up to 600.
Just pick him and move on.
Wes? Yeah, I think I bet on Rosa last time or the time before, thinking that
I bet on him against Minner whenever that fight was.
Yep, same.
There was one of them I bet on him too, thinking that he's gonna catch a sub or stop a takedown. But no. He has the worst takedown defense that I think I've ever seen in my life. That man falls to his back, but he doesn't get subs and shit anymore. Like I can't remember the last time he pulled something off. Like he's not doing it here. Sean is right. The line's crazy. The move up and weight. It's one of those fights, man. Just pick the dude that's absolutely going to win and move on. If there was anything that I would look at if you got it is maybe Jones points handicap is like minus 250, but that's usually only one place you can get those early right now. I don't know who else, if anybody else posts them later in the week, but that's not a bad price. That cuts over half off of his line. And I think he's either going to finish or he's going to, this is 30-27 type shit. Rosa's going to be laying on his back for 14 minutes. So Jones is a bit, probably won't even bet here.
Yeah, I like Wood here as well. I mean, he's gonna. Yeah, I know what you meant. We know what was happening. Um, Wood's the better striker. He might go to his wrestling because Rosa is going to be the bigger, longer guy or whatever. Wood has more muscles, so he's actually the bigger guy in the real world. But yeah, he can take Rosa down whenever he wants. And I think that Wood by decision minus 130 is I think FanDuel still has that hanging around. That's probably the last worthwhile price that you're going to see there. It's starting to creep up like minus 160, minus 170 other places. But yeah, Rosa's extremely tough to finish. Jimmy was pointing out in the chat that he's only ever been stopped once against Burgos, and I think that probably continues here. Wood isn't like a crazy finisher or anything like that, and Rosa has great sub defense. He'll be in an arm triangle for like 7 minutes in this fight and won't even come close to tapping. So Wood by decision. This one should be pretty clean and easy for him. Lightweight division, we've got Mark D1 Casey taking on Damir Hadžović. This is one of those ones that they fuck up on best fight odds.
Oh, yes.
Damir Hadžović, because apparently they hate, where's this dude from? Slovenia? Slovakia? Montenegro? He's got a weird
Bosnia.
Bosnia.
He's the Bosnia
Damn.
bomber.
I should have gone with the alliteration. Damn it. Sean, what are we thinking here?
I think Diakiese's going to wrestle. We'll see if Hadžović is going to be able to keep him off him. It was always weird. Diakiese, I always felt like he should have been a better striker than what he turned out to be. And when he couldn't grapple, he ended up not doing well, which is a bit surprising. So I think he's knows what's good for him in this fight, and that's going to be to take down Hadžović. I think he probably has success there. I'm not sure if he can get Hadžović out of there just because he's not a great finisher. So I think it's Diakiese by decision, but not
Wes?
betting that big line.
Sorry. Wes?
Yeah, I think when Diakiese, whenever he can grapple on dudes and is bigger and can control, he's very good in there. When he can, he's got problems, and also Diakiese, he does what he does too. Like he's gonna try to wrestle you. He doesn't do things that he knows he can't do well, and I think he can grapple and wrestle control to a couple rounds in this fight. Man, playing him at minus 350 or something though, like I've seen him too many times be in there tough with like not great dudes. So if Hadžović is anything, he's a tough fucking dude, and he's gonna definitely stay in that fight. So it's not something I really want to take a chance on. It's probably gonna end up being Diakiese by fucking grappling the shit out of him and winning an easy decision, and I'm gonna be like, fuck, that was like a really easy parlay piece at minus 350. But I'll probably end up passing, but Diakiese's absolutely the pick by decision.
Yeah, Diakiese here for me as well. I don't want to sound too boring, but there's going to be a lot of British guys grappling their way to decisions on this card, at least so far. Anybody that has tried to take down Hadžović has been able to have a lot of success. I mean, even Yancy Medeiros in his last fight was able to take him down once he finally decided, hey, maybe I should try grappling with this guy. So I think that Diakiese is going to get to that point a whole lot quicker than Yancy did. And probably looking at 30-27, not the most exciting fight in the world. Final prelim. This one should be fun because Mason Jones is all gas all the time, no defense. Love it. And he's taken on Leavitt Klein, who apparently once upon a time head kicked people, but that version of him seems long gone. Sean?
Yeah, both these guys have little to no defense. They would rather just throw one and take one. So I think this is going to be a fun fight. Yeah, I think Mason Jones. There's going to be a guy that's able to put some good hands on him and get him out of there. Is that going to be Klein? I probably not. That number is fucking wide though, and it seems to be continuing going because I just threw a half unit on Klein at plus 295. I thought that was a decent number. I'm not expecting it to win, but now it's you can get like plus
345.
335,
Yeah,
345. Like
335 at Mason.
that's a big number. Like he has great offense, but his defense is pretty bad. Um, it's just whether Klein can kind of take advantage of that. That is the question. I think Mason Jones probably wins, but I had to throw a little bit on Klein here.
Wesley.
Yeah, I do agree that Jones is probably a bulb that could probably go on the ground here soon. Definitely a fade in the future. Man, I'm just not really big on Klein, man. I thought he was going to be a little bit better than what he has been. Uh, I guess that's a okay win last time out, but man, Mason Jones probably wins this fight. But you're right, man. If you don't really believe in Mason Jones, like it's not a. I'm not sure you're going to get better than plus 350, plus 400 if this gets there by Saturday. Too many times against him. I don't know. Maybe you do, but that line's getting a little bit wide. Klein's decent enough. Like um, maybe he catches something like Sean said. Mason Jones he'll take a couple to give a couple. And does Klein have that power? I mean, he used to. He used to catch some guys. Definitely a different level here, of course. But if this creeps up, plus 375 or something like that, I might end up sprinkling. But pick is probably going to be Jones here. I think he wins more often than not. We'll see where the line.
Yeah, early in the week, somebody said, Klein is a decent look as an underdog at plus 285. I think it might have been Steve, actually. Um, and I agreed at the time, but I looked into this one a little bit more, and I think this is Mason Jones all day. Klein coming up in weight, hasn't shown a whole lot of output, which means he's basically got to kill Mason Jones with one shot in this fight. And I don't think with Mason Jones coming forward at you at a ridiculous pace that Klein's going to have time to set up a head kick or anything like that. If you're taking Klein, I'd probably look more at the TKO prop. It's like plus 600. I think if he doesn't absolutely flatline Mason Jones in this one, he's either going to get outvolumed or he's going to get grappled to death. I'm actually looking based on Klein's last couple performances where he's been very low output and gotten tired. I'm looking at Mason Jones round 3. It's around plus 900. I don't have 365 up right now. Sometimes they have some outliers for round props, but if even that plus 900 looks good to me. So I'll probably start up a little round robin, and Mason Jones round 3 is going to be part of that because I think he's just going to roll and only going to look stronger as this fight goes on. Moving up to the main card, and for some reason, again, they're starting the main card off with the main event. We got the Volkan Oezdemir taking on the Bearjew, Bookrig.
That's
Sean.
nice. That's pretty good.
I think it's going to be a sad day on Saturday.
Yeah.
These
I
guys
hope
will
Volkan
convince
Oezdemir's family isn't in attendance.
these guys will try to convince you otherwise. I just have a hard time seeing Paul Craig getting a sub here, and that's kind of the only way that I think he can win. Volkan is not a dummy, I don't think, like Krylov. I think Vulcan knows if this is on the feet, then he's winning. So I think for the very few people at light heavyweight that are somewhat intelligent or have somewhat intelligent fight IQ, I think he can do this, keep it on the feet, and he knocks out the Bearjew.
Wow. Wow. The anti-Semitism is running rampant.
I'm sorry.
Wes, fix this man.
Look, I know Charlie Doe Bronx compared the Bearjew to the legend, the Brazilian legend Big Nog this week. I'm going to compare him in this fight to another Brazilian legend and Glover Teixeira, because that's what's going to happen in this fight. Volkan is going to fucking hurt Paul Craig. Volkan is going to get fucking stupid. He's going to go in and try to finish Paul Craig, and this is going to end up on the mat. And what happens when this ends up on the mat? I don't care if Paul Craig is fucking half conscious. He's going to catch Oezdemir in a fucking sub. Paul Craig plus money. Paul Craig by sub. Bearjew one more time.
I don't know what else to add. I mean, Connor talks about the red panty night, but it's gonna be like fucking Robbie Burns night in the stadium in London after Paul Craig gets done with Oezdemir. I mean, this idiot from Switzerland, he got taken down and subbed by Kelly Anunson back in Bellator. And I will never forget that fight, because I was going into that when I was like, who the fuck is Kelly Anunson? This guy stinks. Anybody fighting him that they're bringing in from Europe should beat the shit out of him. And then he got his life grappled out of him. And then comes over to the UFC, goes on the worst winning streak you've ever seen in your life, somehow gets to a title shot because he got a bad decision against Off, and then fought the two chinniest motherfuckers that you ever seen at 205 in your life, Jimmy Manuwa and the Cirque. And then, we've actually seen the real Oezdemir since then. Low volume, this power isn't crazy, and don't get me wrong, Paul Craig will get rocked, but you are not going to put this man out. He's going to do the do Bronx. He's going to be on his back, and he's just going to be waiting for you in that Bearmuda Triangle. People dive in there. They're never seen from again.
Never come back.
Nope. You
At
don't
least
recover
not
from
with
it.
all their limbs. They're missing stuff.
You got to make a sacrifice to get out of that shit. Yeah, honestly, I actually like Paul Craig in this fight. I didn't even play the sub here. I just played the money line because it was plus 150 at the time. It's come down. I actually added a little bit more at plus 131 at Mason's. If he does not get knocked out, which I don't expect him to get knocked out, I think he's just going to honestly come forward and throw a bunch of shit at Oezdemir. And his striking is not great. It's gotten better. But he will actually strike, and he'll actually throw everything at the wall. And that could be even enough to win rounds against Oezdemir, because Oezdemir does not like to throw punches. When he wins decisions, they're super low volume. They could go either way. And maybe he wins this one because he rocks Bearjew a couple times and gets the decision based on that. But finishing potential here, I think, is more for Bearjew. And the volume, I think he's going to be much more active than Oezdemir, because he tries to force those grappling exchanges, and he'll pull guard, he'll drop to his back. He can get takedowns against certain guys, so he's got a bunch of paths here. It's all about the Bearjew. It's great, and it is. Lance isn't here,
All
but
the way.
obviously it's Munich. Beautiful stuff. And then we go to Meatbally against Hannah Goldy. Hannah Goldy has an OnlyFans. Sean.
I know. That's why this is hard, because McCann is a minus 400 favorite in low-level women's MMA.
She sucks.
So you know what you're supposed to do. But unfortunately, the other lady has an OnlyFans. So I think those cancel out, and I'm just going to take Meatball, even though she is terrible.
Wes?
Man, I think she's horrible. I made some money early fading her. She's got me back here a little bit later. But man, this line is kind of crazy. I'm taking a little bit of plus 350. Like I'm fading this chick almost every fight, especially if I get plus 250. I don't care how bad Goldy is, what she's showing on OnlyFans. As long as it's not trying to move in on what's her name territory with feet stuff. She should have that copyright at this point.
I missed all of that. Unfortunately. It sounded like it was going to be a tremendous joke.
No, we'll stay away from the OnlyFans and the feet and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm
you're
taking
talking about Feet Lease.
Felice.
Yeah, I
Feet Lease.
told old Goldy to stay the fuck away from the feet stuff. Like
He knows better.
One chick's got that market sold up.
Locked down.
Yeah, I mean, McCann's probably gonna win this fight, man. But seriously, I do not think she is good at all. Goldy is gonna go in there and at least throw dumb shit, maybe volume her up, and I'll take a little shot there plus 350. I'm gonna take that almost every time against McCann at this point.
Even I can't take the shot on Goldy here. I think it's because she's a self-hating Jew. And, we're all self-hating Jews a little bit, but she went to such a degree that she actually changed her name from Goldschmidt to Goldy. And I can't respect that. So even unless she gets a finish here, she is losing. There is no way that they're going to let her win a decision over Meatbally in London. That's not going to happen.
Was looking at inside the distance though. I think it's like plus 800. Goldy.
Yeah, that's how she's got to do it. Also because Meatbally is she is the female mongoloid of the UFC. She's just gonna come forward and throw wild shit. She'll probably bring like a stick on fire into the cage and start waving that around, try and scare monsters away from the cave she just emerged from or some shit like that. This is not a good fight. I get why it's on the main card. The crowd's gonna get rowdy for it. And I just hope nobody hands her a belt after she wins this one, because it was embarrassing.
Her and Patty win. They're going to be calling for fucking top 10 opponents and shit.
I hope they're calling for top 10 opponents.
We're about to see
that would be horrible for them.
We're about to see when the the squeaky wheel gets the attention, when the purple or the rainbow haired one gets his fucking next step up in class.
Oh my god.
They're gonna throw like Patty on UFC 280 after this, facing like Guram or some shit like that.
Yes, please.
Make him face Sarukian. There you go.
No,
It's a prelim fight for UFC 280.
Hey, no, who isn't Garmont? Didn't he get matched up? Isn't he on
against Dariush?
Yeah, that's right.
That's a great fight. Wes was saying something very important there. Moving up to light heavyweight, we've got MMA's Al Capone, Nikita Krylov, taking on. He's back, folks, and apparently back at 205. Alexander Gustafsson. Sean, is this going to go well for MMA's favorite guy who almost won a title but never really got close to winning a title?
I mean, got close to winning a fake title against DC. That was pretty close. I don't know. That was a sad display of himself against Verdum. Going up to heavyweight, just zero fucks. There's no way he trained at all for that fight. That was awesome to cash that on Verdum. I think he's got an okay shot here. Like I hope he's training. I hope he's decent because I think if he's okay, he can win this fight somewhat easily. I think he can stuff the takedowns because Krylov is a grappler now, kind of always has been, but Gustafsson has shown pretty good takedown defense in a long career. I think Krylov's going to get tired if he doesn't get many of these takedowns, and then Gus can kind of take over. But it's Gus. He's been off again after being off again. You can't really trust this dude. So I got 1 unit on him, plus 162, just a small one. I could look very dumb if he shows up flabby and not giving a fuck again.
Wes?
Yeah, from the little stuff I've seen, it seems like Gus is actually taking this shit a little bit seriously.
Good.
Looks in decent shape. Dude's still only 35. Sometimes taking a couple years off after something like that last time is a good thing. Like you could tell, like, I mean, that dude looked like absolute shit walking into that cage and walking out. Like that was incredible to see. Like, I mean, if he's in taking this shit any bit seriously, I still think he's way better than Krylov. Like, just way better. Yeah, this probably stays on the feet. Gus sits at range and picks this dude apart, man. At plus 175, I'll roll the dice. I mean, it's nothing huge. I'm not like way overconfident in Gus here or anything, but plus 175 against, like, I've faded Krylov so much. I don't know what the hype has been on him since he came like back to the UFC. People were telling me how he improved and all this. He's still a dude that tries to get takedowns and work from the top. If he can't do that, he's in trouble. He's not taking Gus down. It's not going to happen here. Take some plus 175 on Gustafsson here. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
This maybe could have been another consensus because I actually love Gus in this fight. As Sean said, Krylov's a grappler now, and if there's one thing that Gus is good at, it is defensive grappling and turning that into his own offensive opportunities. If he wants to, he can probably take Krylov down as well in this spot. And if this is on the feet, are you going to tell me that even a faded version of Gus is going to lose to Krylov on the feet? Krylov sucks. He doesn't even know how to throw a punch. He's been in the UFC for almost a decade now in 2 different stints and can't throw a punch. I don't really understand this one. I know Gus has been off, but it's not like he hasn't had fights booked. He had something booked in 2021, and that got scrapped because of an injury. He was booked again against Rothwell, which I didn't love that idea earlier this year. And then Rothwell got released because I don't know what he did. He fucked a cheese wedge in Wisconsin or something like that, and they threw him in jail. I don't know what you go to jail for in Wisconsin, but that sounds like something that might happen. And yeah, I just think skill for skill, physicality wise, if Gus, I think he has to get in shape before this fight. To get down to 205, he has to be in shape. And if he's in shape, it doesn't matter if he's been improving over the last couple of years. It's not like his chin was the problem or anything like that. I mean, he gassed and lost in round 4 to Smith, but he looked damn good in round 3 just before that. Honestly, as much as he looked physically bad in the Verdum fight, he looked all right early in that fight. It was like a weird, he stuffed a takedown and then he turned away out, like limp-legged out of the single leg, and Verdum just sort of tackled him from behind, kind of takedown. It was a really weird takedown that not a lot of guys are going to be able to capitalize on, but he was facing probably the best submission grappler in the history of the heavyweight division, and you don't get away with that shit against Verdum. So I like Gus. I think he's going to keep this upright unless he wants to take it down, and he's probably going to box the shit out of Krylov, and if he gets in danger, he's going to take it down, and he's going to be fine here. So I took Gus plus 165. I was an idiot. I'm tempted. If the line keeps going up like higher than this plus 175, might even have to take a little bit more. But Gus is the pick for me and the play. Lightweight division. Jordan, love it or leave it, taking on. How is that not his nickname? Like, come on. What are we doing here? I need to be hired as a consultant for these assholes. Because they get punched in the head too much to come up with good nicknames themselves. Against Paddy Pimblett, the baddie's all right. At least it rhymes. You always got to go with, like, alliteration or rhyme. I mean, those are the two keys to a great nickname. Sean, what's going to happen here?
I think this fight is a lot more competitive if it's a grappling fight. We've seen Pimblett kind of struggle against some decent grapplers before the UFC, a little bit inside the UFC. If Leavitt is smart and he pursues the grappling, forces the grappling, then I think he has a shot here. If Pimblett's able to stuff some takedowns and keep this on the feet, then Leavitt's probably going to catch a bunch on the chin, and Pimblett will probably put him out. But I missed the fade on Andre Fiallo against Jake Matthews. The number just wasn't there. I don't want to miss something fading Paddy because it's going to happen at some point. Is it this one? Probably not. But I still had to sprinkle a half unit on Leavitt at plus 220 just in case it is this time. He is not good. I don't care how many fans he has. He is going to get fucked up soon, and we will cash.
But he's a baddie.
He's bad, all right.
Wes?
I mean, this kid is like, what, 20-something? He's already pushing, like, prime Ricky Hatton in the offseason. Like, this dude is stuffing
That can't be good for your body to blow it up like that.
Like, well, after going through that, how tough is the fight going to be? I mean, come on. He's already got the hard part out of the way. He made weight. He's good.
Ask Johnny Hendricks about those big weight cuts to see how long they last.
He's a cop now.
I'm glad because he can't fight for shit.
He had one good night.
Yep. He had a couple good nights.
Yeah.
He did.
I mean, I think Paddy's already been kind of slightly exposed. Like he's been like blocked in a couple of his fights already. I mean, he's got dudes out there. Like, don't get me wrong, the dude hits. If Leavitt's gonna stay up and try to box with Paddy, he's gonna probably get smoked too. Leavitt seems like a really smart fighter though, and the dude that he knows what he's got to do here. And I think we could see some grappling in this fight. I think Paddy's very aggressive. He's going to come in and be throwing shots and give opportunities for that takedown. Like Sean said, like he's been taken down in the past, hasn't improved probably. Leavitt's got some sneaky trips and stuff though, man. So I do see this hitting the mat. And if I get a little bit of time down there, I give Leavitt a little bit of a shot here. I still don't think Paddy's great. This is definitely a step up. I don't think this is an easy fight for him, win or lose. At plus 210 or so, I'll definitely have to take a little bit of that. Paddy smokes him. He smokes him. I wouldn't be shocked if this gets scrambly though, and Leavitt does find some kind of sub, man. I think him by sub is like plus 600 or something like that. That's probably something else that I'm going to take a little bit of a sprinkle on. Paddy gets me. I'm going to win some money against that dude, though.
I don't think that sub prop is going to get there for you. I think if Leavitt wins this fight, I think it's a decision.
Could be.
And, just like you said, Paddy is aggressive. He'll get into scrambles. He might lose position a couple times. And Leavitt's pretty good once he gets on top. But man, it's embarrassing to call what this guy does wrestling because he sucks at it. Offensively, defensively, it is hideous to watch. And I think the UFC knows exactly what they're doing in this fight. They've seen that Paddy's got a little bit rocked by the guys that he's faced so far. So they said, you know what? Who is the guy on the roster that has the least power that we've ever seen? Jordan Leavitt, the twerk dude. That's the guy. So that's why they match Paddy up with him, because Paddy is going to light him up on the feet. I don't think that Leavitt really has a path to get this to the ground. You mentioned he's got some good like sneaky trips and stuff like that. Maybe he can hit one of those.
But that's
but
about it. That's
I think that's about it. So I like Paddy here. I played the over 1.5 at -125. I think that's silly. I don't think Paddy has this insane stopping power that people think he does. He's just been fighting shitty fighters so far. But we've seen I've been watching this dude in Cage Warriors for a while. He's got a lot of fights that go deep.
over 1.5. That's a good snipe. I thought that was 2.5. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked that it was that low. I don't see Paddy finishing him that quickly. And honestly, if Leavitt wins, like I said, I think it's going to be more of a top control decision, which he's going to get screwed out of anyway. So yeah, I love that over 1.5. I didn't take a side on this one. If I'm picking it, it's going to be Paddy, just because I really don't see the way there for Leavitt. Co-main event, 185. Got the action man in action again. I mean, this dude sees more action than my action figures when I was a child, and I used to put them on the radiator and shit, just melt those motherfuckers down. He's old. He's a welterweight, but somehow, yeah, I know that was bad. I didn't know where I was going. Didn't know where I was going with it. It was in shambles the whole way.
It was a journey.
Yep. Anyways, he's old. He's a welterweight. He's got good takedown defense, and he's made all of that work with the guys that he's faced so far in the UFC. Can he do it again against like a top 10 middleweight, Sean?
I don't know. I don't really have a good read on this fight. Curtis, the guys that he's fought have been very flawed fighters, and they seem to like match up with his skills. This is another one where, yeah, like if his takedown defense does stand up, he's got decent hands on the feet, he's got good power, then he's probably going to have success on the feet and be able to win. Can he get Hermansson out of there? I'm not sure, but he also is fighting a guy that is a big middleweight and is a pretty good grappler. Like, this guy, Vieira, is obviously a better sub guy, but his takedowns are atrocious. Hermansson actually has takedowns. So I think we're going to learn a lot here. I just don't know. Hermansson did better on the feet against Strickland than I really expected. So maybe he's making some strides. So even if Curtis is able to stuff the takedowns, he can do all right on the feet. I got to take the true 185, or the guy that's fought way better competition. I'll pick Hermansson, but I'm not betting it.
Wes?
Yeah, I think that's the big thing here. Is like Vieira, his takedowns are just so bad. He was shooting so far, just so bad. Now, credit to Curtis for stopping all of them and just looking incredible. Hermansson's just, he's a different skill, man. Like, he's going to try to get a hold of Curtis. He's going to try to pull him to the ground. He's got just different stuff, man. Body stuff, upper body stuff that he's going to work. That's the stuff that we haven't seen Curtis have to deal with. Can he deal with that stuff? I mean, maybe. Like, he's looked pretty fucking good on this run, man. I'm kind of with Sean, though. Like, I got to side with the guy that I think has a way better chance of getting this to the mat. It's a true 185er, fought great competition. Like Sean also mentioned, his hands look okay against Strickland. Didn't look bad at all. I haven't bet it yet. This is going to be kind of one that if I had it's going to be one of my last ones. Definitely going to pick Hermansson here. If Curtis can stop all of the grinding and the takedowns from Hermansson on the feet, it's probably close. The man could pull off another one, dude. I wouldn't be shocked. So going to pick the more proven guy here, but no bet as of right now.
Yeah, it's weird with Chris Curtis because I feel like people are looking at the last, I don't know, 12 months, 8 months, however long he's been in the UFC, and being like, oh man, this dude is great. He's the greatest fighter ever. Nobody can ever take him down. He's got the greatest takedown defense you've ever seen. Nobody's ever punched the body before in MMA. He's the greatest body puncher you've ever seen. He's got the greatest cardio you've ever seen. Like, people are just getting a little bit out of control when it comes to Chris Curtis. He should have been in the UFC several years ago, but there's a reason that he wasn't. And that's that, like, he's good, but he's not title contender good. And picked this one up listening to our boy Aaron Bronstadter's podcast. Jack Hermansson. Hermansson is the correct pronunciation. I don't know if Michael Jordan went over there and did some stuff with the Swedish models back in the day, but could be what happened. Not saying, just saying. Jack Hermansson he's good, man. As Wes said, it's one thing to defend a shot from Rodolfo Vieira from halfway across the cage. It's a different thing to get tied up in the clinch with a Greco wrestler who's way bigger than you, and when he hoists you up on double underhooks, you're going to be on your tippy toes if you're even on your feet at all, because they say Chris Curtis is 5'10", but I don't think he's going to look 5'10" standing next to Jack Hermansson when they're in this fight. So big size advantage. I actually think on the outside that of the two of these guys, Hermansson's the better kicker too. He's a little bit longer. I think he's going to struggle with his hands because Chris Curtis has really good hands, but he's going to be able to kick Chris Curtis's legs because Curtis is looking to stand in the pocket and counter everything that you're throwing. He's going to be able to kick him to the body. And if Curtis comes forward, he's going to be able to lock him up in a body lock. And I think that's a little bit different, like I said, than Rodolfo Vieira shooting takedowns who can't wrestle from halfway across the cage. So even if he can't get takedowns against Curtis, he's going to throw him up against the cage, manhandle him a little bit. I don't think cardio is a big concern here for Hermansson. And I'd like him to get his way to a decision. Sub is always a possibility because honestly, he's a better submission threat than he is a wrestler. I just think that what people thought Vieira was going to do to Curtis is what Hermansson's actually going to do to him. So I took Hermansson plus 110. That is long gone. I'm a fraud, I know. But that was my bet here. And I'm kind of confident in it. There's ways that Curtis can win this fight. I just think that Hermansson has to fight a really bad fight for Curtis to be able to pull those off. Main event time, heavyweight division. Actually a good heavyweight fight. And not just good because it means anything, but good because like there's two heavyweights who are actually good at fighting. It's shocking. We got Curtis Blaydes taking on Tom Aspinall. Sean, how is this one gonna go wrong?
Good question. Heavyweight has been pretty mean to me in the past. Whether it's Curtis Blaydes getting knocked the fuck out by Derek Lewis or Overeem getting knocked the fuck out by Rosenstruck, there's some rough ones there. So I've tried not to bet too much on heavyweights because dumb shit seems to happen a decent amount.
Andre decisions, just bet them over and over.
That's the only that's the only one that you can count
Fatty's gonna
on.
fatty.
Fatties and
that's-
Andre decisions.
Those are two clutch heavyweight bets. But Aspinall is good. What he did to Volkov was very impressive. To get him out of there like that, very impressive. I still think he is fairly unproven. He has been out of the first round 3 times in 14 fights. Never been to the third round. I mean, good on you. He's putting these guys out. That's what he's supposed to do. That being said, there's not really a heavyweight fighter like Curtis Blaydes. There really isn't. Yes, he has 100% takedown defense. Aspinall does, but the guys who he's faced are not Curtis Blaydes. It means nothing, really. We know Curtis Blaydes can go 5 rounds. It might get boring at times, but he does have the gas to go 5 rounds, even though he does a little late. He can get a little sleepy and tired, but I don't know if Aspinall, if he's grappling, for 2 rounds straight, what he's going to look like in the 3rd and 4th round. I don't know. Blaydes is, to me, the 2nd best heavyweight in the world. He just has he's fought the Hog twice. He's fought the Hog twice, and he got Derek Lewis. That's the way it goes.
Who also beat the Hog, lest we forget.
True. Blaydes' striking looked decent last time. I know he's putting in time in Colorado there. I think he can compete on the feet with Aspinall. I think he can out-grapple the shit out of Aspinall, and I'm not sure what Aspinall can do on his back. I just kind of have to go with the guy that really only loses to the Hog and Derek Lewis's patented move, the finisher. So I took Blaydes plus 119 for a unit and a half. If Aspinall gets by Blaydes, then he's the real fucking deal, because I think Blaydes is that good where he is not going to lose to very many guys.
Wes?
Yeah, I mean, Curtis Blaydes is the 2nd best heavyweight at this point. If Tom Aspinall beats him, that's legitimate. There is no more argument. The Mokaev win was nice, but come on, man. Mokaev literally just got his shit taken down and took out that. There was no resistance whatsoever. Nice win. He got it done, not taking anything from it. But we know Volkov is nothing off his back or even on the mat. The dude just ain't the same anymore. I think this is just gonna look like a Curtis Blaydes fight, man. Can't tell me Tom Aspinall is a better wrestler, grinder, grappler than Curtis Blaydes. I ain't seen it. He's fighting bums outside of Volkov. If he beats Blaydes in that kind of a fight, which it's going to be that if he wants to win, he's going to have to grind. But this isn't going to be fucking them on the feet, fucking kickboxing. Unless he catches him early, I can't see that. I just don't see him out grinding. I've seen Blaydes do it. We've all seen it. We know he can go 20, 25 minutes. I ain't seen it from Aspinall. This is all it's all potential here that you're betting on. I've seen Blaydes do it. I think he can do it again here. I just think he's slightly better in every round than Aspinall. Maybe Aspinall is the goods. We'll find out. Plus money on Curtis Blaydes, who's proven probably the 2nd best heavyweight in the world right now. Plus money on potential, on fucking against a guy that people think has all this potential. I'll take Blaydes, man, as a dog. I like him quite a bit in this fight.
I took Volkov last time against Aspinall.
You learned your lesson.
Because
I did too.
I was like, hey, what happens? What happens if he gets out? If he gets pushed? If he goes to gets into the deep waters? And maybe that's possible against Blaydes here. But in terms of skills, Aspinall is so much better than Curtis Blaydes. Curtis Blaydes has gotten through his entire career by being a giant human who can run forward and run into other less giant humans who are less athletic than him, have no balance, and then he ends up on top of them. And once he actually gets into that situation, he's a great mat wrestler. Once he gets a hold of you, he can take guys down, he can hold on to them, he can keep getting takedowns and mat returns and all that fun stuff. I still don't think he does a ton of damage with his ground and pound, so I don't think that's a big threat here. But this is the very rare Curtis Blaydes fight where he is not the better athlete in this fight. He's not the bigger guy. He's not the faster guy. He's not the stronger guy in this fight. I think that Tom Aspinall is a significantly better athlete than Curtis Blaydes. If this plays out on the feet for any length of time, huge advantage to Aspinall. And we've seen that Blaydes is much more content to keep fights on the feet of late. And not necessarily when you think he'd want to. Like against Derek Lewis, he was like, hey, I'm going to strike with you. This is your only chance to win this fight, and I could probably take you down anytime that I want.
You're pretty good, though.
He was terrified of that uppercut, and that's why he didn't take him down. I don't know if he's terrified of what Aspinall is going to throw. He probably should be, but I don't know if he is, though.
I don't even think that Blaydes has a bad chin. I actually think Blaydes has an excellent chin. I think Blaydes has terrible defense to go along with a good chin. And eventually at heavyweight, that's going to catch up with you. It has a few times against the right matchups. But, Wes was talking about, Aspinall took Volkov down and that was no resistance. I mean, Volkov's got nothing on the ground. Then why did he get up 14 times against Blaydes, gas him out, and then beat his ass in the 5th round? Like,
recently Volkov has looked a little different. That's all. I just
think
he looks like he got old quick. Still a great win, man. I'm not taking that. That was a great win. He demolished Volkov.
People don't do that to Volkov.
So, and then the other thing is, if Blaydes does actually get takedowns, which I don't think is a given here. I mean, if you look through some of his fights, there's some guys that he can just run straight through, take him down whenever he wants. And then he fights Junior Dos Santos. He can't take him down at all. I mean, he got lucky that Junior was completely washed at that point, and he was able to knock him out on the feet. Go back further. He went 0 for 13 on takedowns against Daniel Omenlanchuk.
Yeah, but he'll also get around on your back standing up and just fucking hammer you and pound you with 150 fucking punches on the feet or grinding on your back. He doesn't necessarily have to get an outright takedown on a dude to do
he's
damage.
A grinder.
Yeah, that's fair. You can hold up littler guys against the cage and land shots against them. I think people underrate the size of Tom Aspinall and the athleticism of Tom Aspinall. And I think we're going to see that on Saturday night. I don't think that Blaydes is going to have an easy time getting him to the ground. I think even if he does get him to the ground, that Aspinall's actually, he can actually do jiu-jitsu. Most heavyweights can't. I don't think that he's going to just get settled with Blaydes on top of him. I think he'll be able to work back to his feet. And then it comes down to the cardio. And we don't know. And honestly, that's why I don't blame you guys for taking a shot on Blaydes, because he might fade at some point. We saw in the Arlovsky fight that he unloaded the entire clip trying to get Arlovsky out of there. But he was going to the body and shit and didn't just punch Arlovsky in the face. And Arlovsky had that metal plate installed on his chin so he doesn't get knocked out anymore. So eventually, Aspinall just went to his grappling. And honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if Aspinall shoots a takedown or two on Blaydes here. When I've watched them, Aspinall shoots better takedowns than Blaydes. Technically, as I've mentioned multiple times, Blaydes just runs forward at guys and they fall over. Aspinall can actually shoot a takedown. I don't think he's a better wrestler. I'm not saying that.
He's shooting them on Jake Collier and fucking Alan Badu and shit.
Yeah, but they look good. He knows what he's doing. He can grapple. I just think that
He's
every
skilled.
skill
He's skilled.
every skill advantage here goes to Aspinall. I think the athletic advantages go to Aspinall. And if Blaydes can survive all of that and grind him down, then Blaydes can win this fight. But I did play Tom Aspinall, minus 125, 2 units, doubled it up on this one.
Woo!
Yeah, the Brits are going nuts. It's going to be the Scottish, the British, the Welsh, everybody but the Irish is invited. Rory McDonald's not even, or Rory McIlroy, he's not even invited. Those Northern Irish, fuck those guys. It's gonna be a party in London, and the fans are gonna go home happy because Tom Aspinall is going to officially announce his arrival at the top of the heavyweight division. And then he's going to go on to beat everybody's least favorite fighter, Cyril Gane.
I'm gonna have to sign over my Twitter handle to you, Brad. I think it's time for you to take this on. Like,
I'll start a new one. True GB fan. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, you even wore the UK hat tonight, and you're not even. You're not even betting.
Oh, I'm like,
what's going on?
I'm like fade. I'm trying to fade all kinds of these motherfuckers. Like I'm looking at fades on all of them.
What a fraud.
Yep.
Anyways, that is going to do it for the MMA analysis this week. I know we took a long time. There were 14 fights on this card. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Way too many fights.
Too many.
Fun card.
But fun card, morning or afternoon card, depending on where you live, which I kind of enjoy during the summer because I can watch it and then go outside and still do shit. Prefer these to like the 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock starts. So we'll have a good time on Saturday. And we will be back next week for whatever the hell the fight card is next week. Sure, it'll be fun.
UFC 277, Pena versus Nunes 2.
Ooh, maybe we won't be back. We'll see. Wes, how's the Ultimate Fighter going this year?
Oh my god!
I haven't watched it yet.
What?
I
know you only watch.
You know it's bad when Wes isn't watching it.
I'm gonna watch it, but I'm just gonna binge it one night. Man, I got a kid now, man. It's hard to keep up with half the shit I watch anymore.
Terrible.
Well, we will be back next week to break down that heap, and we'll all probably bet on Juliana Pena again, because why the hell not? As somebody said earlier in the chat, mom quit.